Hey guys, Chomp Gear here. We just Icon 2016 is officially wrapped up. We just thought we might take a sort of overscale analysis of it, and maybe just talk about our cons in general. What makes them awesome? What sucks?
Well, for me personally, it's meeting the kind of people that I wouldn't meet anywhere else.
Like Raymond Feist.
Exactly, it's giving me access to things that it's all under one roof. So that makes it worth it for me personally. And usually there's interesting things at cons that's also not something you can find in the stores or, in the malls or everyday life. These sort of unique things you find at cons.
Maybe not so much the. A lot of stores. I have a bit more insight into that this year, actually working for, a comic book store. You never realize, because you generally think they just cart all their crap up and take it to the con, which they do. That part's still true, but they also order a lot of stuff. They stock up big time for conventions. You really have no idea how much. But no, I get what you're saying, that there is stuff you find at cons, or like stores. We have the store in South Africa here, ZB's. They're in Edenvale. I do 90% of my shopping from ZB's during Icon because it's a long way to drive otherwise.
Yeah, the one thing though is, at least here in South Africa, is there aren't a lot of cons. I mean, it's only now starting to grow, and there's new conventions popping up here and there and all over the country. And we find that the downside of that is you just see the same store holders and the same people.
It's what I've come to call the Icon family. Certain people you don't really see at any other point during the year except that one time of the year at Icon. You're like, hey, I don't remember your name, you don't remember my name, but now we know each other, so everything's cool.
The only thing is though, talking about repetitiveness with stall holders, it is also quite nice though because you have the ability to develop a relationship with the stall holder. So they see you and they're like, hi, this is stuff I know you like. Let's talk about that.
That's true. I know there's a lot of people who only go because they know so-and-so is going to be there, and they went specifically for that.
Yeah,
and if so-and-so isn't there, they get very disappointed.
I gotta admit, when I heard ZB's wasn't going to be there this year, I was very bummed out.
That's the other plus side of cons is the specials and stuff. That's
well, I gotta say, the organizers of Icon definitely upped their game this year.
Yep, the move to a bigger premises was definitely a good thing. We'll see where it goes from here. I think it can only get better, bigger and better.
Well, one only hopes.
Yes, no, I'm sure it will.
I mean, I don't want to sort of adopt that stance on sort of cons where if any sort of corporate if any sort of corporate sponsorship leaks into it, they're like, no, it's not the spirit of the con. But because certain things only happen with money, and that money's got to come from somewhere. But at the same time, I feel like the boost in size, Icon did lose a teensy bit of its charm this year.
But it was also nice to be able to move between the stalls without worrying about knocking shit over. I mean, I remember last year I was cosplaying and I had this tail, and every time I turned, I whacked something off someone's stall. So I ended up taking my tail off. And
It was the same when someone passed your stall, they would bump your table, and it's like everything would just come crumbling down because it was a little cramped.
Yeah.
So the move was good. They try to keep some aspects though from their traditional Icon. They had the free coffee station, the usual mugs and t-shirts,
You can't have Icon without the free coffee station.
Exactly.
People would riot.
So
I need my coffee, damn it.
So they kept that in, which is good. Also, what was nice is the fact that the tabletop gamers, the card gamers, and the ones who played little figures, Warhammer and all that, they were on the main floor. And I heard someone say to me today that they were so amazed to see these guys because they didn't actually know they existed at Icon.
Yeah, that's kind of true, because they usually, because I mean, at Icon, when it was at the previous rec center, you are kind of forced to work with the space you have. But like the tabletop gamers, they usually get shunted to the rooms at the back of the convention.
Yeah. So it is nice having them all under one roof, and they have the space to expand, so they can stay there a couple of years.
I mean, it's 2 floors, isn't it? The whole convention center is.
The center is actually 4 or 5 halls. That was just hall 2.
Yeah.
And 2 floors.
I'd just like to have a nice thanks, to Always On, who sponsored the event. I loved your internet.
This video is also not sponsored by Always On.
No, it could be. We're open to negotiation.
Sell out early, right?
Well,
hey, if the price is right.
That was actually one of the highlights for me, was the fact that the panels were streamed. because on Saturday when we didn't make it to
Yeah,
the expo,
because I was working, I didn't get to see a
we
single panel.
basically put them on the big screen and we sat at home, did our work, and we could watch the panels. So that was a plus, and the streaming was good quality because it didn't lag.
I actually didn't really watch that many of the main stage panels. I watched quite a few of the workshop panels, which were really interesting, and I way prefer that it was a much more intimate environment.
Yeah.
Partially because for 2 of the panels I attended, I was the only audience member, but
So that brings me to the fact that a lot of people didn't actually know that those panels, the workshops existed. Everyone thought it was part of the main stage.
And I only found out about the panels the week of the convention. Like, I think that might have been a bit of a marketing fail.
Well, yeah, I think in general people they didn't know about a lot of stuff. They didn't know about the con. They didn't know about what was happening, and that's just something they're going to improve on. They now know about it, and hopefully financing allowing, I'm sure they'll have a bigger marketing team for next year.
But you guys were able to sit on some of the panels, right?
We did 2 of the panels with Raymond Feist about writing.
I think I would do all the panels with Raymond Feist. I spoke to that dude. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there was local guys there as well, representing, which was nice, sitting alongside him. We also checked out the cosplay finals on the main stage, and that was very nice because they got to showcase their hard work on a nice stage and get a broadcast. So that was a plus.
Like, I'll admit, I was a bit pessimistic from the, once again, this is coming from someone who didn't sit at any of the panels, so it's a bit sort of silly for me to pass judgment. I was a bit critical of them initially because I was like, we have our own conventions. Let's stop sort of trying to appropriate Comic-Con culture. But from what I've heard from people who went, they were actually a great deal of fun.
yeah, look, it's also quite a nice way to learn things. Doing these panels as instead of just going into this con and having no idea what's going on, it's sometimes quite nice to escape for an hour, learn something new, and maybe learn a little bit more about something you didn't know about. So I went to the medieval fighting panel, and that was really interesting.
Oh, I was there briefly as well. That was they discussed like how they actually the point scoring system and all that sort of, and that stuff that's interesting. I didn't know. You always just see them walk around, not knowing what they actually do, thinking it's just a cosplay, but it's not actually a cosplay. It's proper armor that they built according to certain standards for medieval fighting, full contact sport. Yeah, so we've also got an interview with Raymond Feist. We'll be uploading later. You can watch that
More like
too.
an interview and a half, but yeah.
And with Les, one of the organizers of Icon.
Really nice guy.
Yep. We have an interview with the cosplay judges as well, so we'll have that up and some photos of the finalists.
I always feel so sorry for the cosplay judges because, like, in the last few years, like, the sort of output from cosplays, like, seems like it's improved exponentially. I'm like, how do you judge that shit? And it's all so awesome.
Well, we asked them, not how they do it, but pretty much like, was it difficult to judge? And they say it is because the level is so high, everyone's put so much effort in, how do you pick one over the other? And then it comes down to construction and being in character and all those things that they mark them on. And that's basically, it's the point system that's how you get
suck
through.
at being a character.
Yeah.
I find public situations very stressful.
So this year I was causing well, that's the wrong one. Okay, I was cosplaying the Joker on Saturday, and I'm just too nice. Because like, everyone was like, you look amazing. I was like, oh, thank you. And stuff like, Meh.
Yeah, so some of the highlights, the artists that were there in the Artist Alley, I always think that's a draw card for Icon. Because Icon is always more focused on the comic books, the graphic novels, the art, the writing.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the artists feel more, at least from my perspective, feel more at home, not at home, maybe it's a poor choice of words, but they seem more like they belong at a convention like Icon as opposed to a convention like Rage. Though Rage is good for different reasons because you get to syndicate your work to people who aren't, sort of part of the sort of more nerdly culture.
Well, it's true. Rage is a gaming expo primarily that's expanding into geek culture. And
I think that's also, it was a bit of a race-off because I know both of them sort of wanted to expand into each other's culture a little bit, sort of Rage and Icon.
See, yeah, I can kind of see, I could see some of the video gaming being brought into Icon. So Icon's normally, from my experience, been mostly board games and tabletop role-playing, etc. But this year there was quite a nice little try out for the PS4 and for the Oculus Rift.
What I like about Icon is there's always something to do. Like when I started going to Icon when I was still in primary school, I pretty much only went there to participate in the Magic the Gathering tournaments, and I would do that. You know, it's a convention the Friday, the Saturday, and Sunday. I would compete in Magic the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday. But I mean, there are board games, tabletop gaming. There's always something to do at Icon, which is part of what makes it so awesome.
Yeah, it's like I learned actually this weekend that there is such a thing as competitive role playing. I don't understand how that would work. But
That's interesting.
yeah,
It's
like
also, what are
apparently,
you competing for precisely?
apparently you form a team and you score each other based on different things. The GM scores everyone based on different things, and the person who has the highest total of points at the end wins.
Yeah, what do you win?
Accolades, nerdly goodness.
No, I'm more
A
interested
gold
in
star?
how you won.
I actually participated in a role playing module this year, first time, because I actually got my act together to register. I did Call of Cthulhu, which was a lot of fun. We all survived. Yay!
Tell us more.
Yeah. What happened was
So what were you doing wrong?
no, it was quite funny because apparently there was this huge big boss fight that was going to happen because there was this sorcerer dude who was going to summon a bunch of monsters that we'd have to fight, and we'd already fought them, so we were all on like 3 HP when we arrived. And we just shot him while he was monologuing and walked off.
The DM must have been like, I prepared for this.
Well, actually, because from what I can gather, the way it works is someone prepares it and then someone else who volunteers for the session
Oh, I
gets to
see.
DM it.
DM. Interesting. But yeah, Icon has that atmosphere of, you know, go there, hang out, there's stuff to do. Rage is go see what's new, technology-wise. So yeah, that's how the artists relate to Rage, is because of game art. There's fan art, concept art for games and stuff. But yeah, other expos. There's been lots of expos in Cape Town. I have never been to them.
There was FanCon.
FanCon.
I know some people who did. Because like what was it? Jason Aaron or someone was down here from the States for FanCon.
I can't recall, to be honest. The thing about FanCon was it was very much catered around the artists. So as far as I heard is they were very happy because they were in the spotlight, and that's what it was about. The fans basically getting together.
Yeah.
That's what I
Look.
liked about Icon was the sense of community.
Yeah.
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 Like I said, it's people you sort of don't really see at other points at the year. You only see them at the convention,
Yeah.
but they're still, like I said, I call them my Icon family. Cause like, hey, people, yay.
But that's the thing with this expansion. Speaking to people, they say we saw our regulars, but then we saw a lot of new faces.
That is
So-
important.
Yes. So aside
Oh,
from
yeah.
the people you expect to be there, there were a lot of new people that came, and that's why I think with a little more marketing, they can basically open this up to a whole new audience, and really take it places.
Basically, Icon is my first con of the year. Normally, mostly because I have the worst luck with Geek Fest.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I miss Geek Fest all the time. Sorry, Geek Fest.
This is
How bad?
nothing against you, Geek Fest. It's just bad luck.
She's lying. She hates you.
Nah.
But it's also changing the date. You need the thing why Icon and Rage works is they're consistent. You know October, you know June, July, you know. Geek Fest, as far as I remember, is they keep moving the date around and the venues around, and that's how do you plan ahead and commit to. So just, you know, if you're listening, you know, if you do conventions and stuff like this, try and be consistent because people need to pencil this in their calendars.
Yeah.
Prepare
But we
ahead
don't
of
know what's
time.
going on behind the scenes.
We don't.
Maybe the hands were forced. Who knows?
Yeah, no, obviously we're assuming this is not by design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is my design.
It would be a silly like organizer who sets out to screw people over.
Yeah, so obviously it's assuming that it's not by design. But it's still, a bit of a...
Yeah, I missed Geek Fest unfortunately.
I also missed AI Fest. I was a bit bummed about that.
Yeah. And I think they're also expanding slowly but surely, getting their name out there. The other one
Well, AI
is...
Fest did the cosplay.
They
Right
did.
one.
Yeah.
AI Fest does the cosplay at Icon now. That's official. And I think they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. There were actually some, just jumping on that tangent, there were actually some amazing cosplays this year.
Yes, we have some photos. We'll post them up.
Yeah, we're
Lights.
posting them on the Chomp Gear page on Facebook. Like that.
Yes.
We might even post them to Twitter.
But the craftsmanship, I mean,
Yeah.
the armor some of those guys made with the LED lights.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Jedi princesses on Saturday were amazing.
I heard about them. I missed them.
We've got photos of them. There was an Anna from Frozen, Snow White, Pocahontas, and Ariel that I saw.
Sylvanas today was pretty cool, but I can't remember. Is she the same one who did Sylvanas last year at Rage? She looked,
No, it was a different girl, as far as I believe.
sorry, my
But
bad.
Sylvanas has been done quite a few times. She's a popular character.
Mm.
You'll see a lot of popular characters over and over again. It's nice to see the characters you would never suspect, like
Yeah.
the person who won what was it, best for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if this was a spoiler,
Well,
but apparently
no
there's
one's
like
seen the movie.
Yeah, it's
no
not
one's
out
seen
in
the
this
movie,
country
but apparently the character,
Oh,
everyone
wow.
knows about the character. It's the witch character.
Enchantress.
Oh,
Enchantress.
Enchantress. It's the movie version of Enchantress, and they came dressed as that. No big armor, nothing, but the body painting, the everything, they pulled it off, and they won a prize
Yeah.
for it. So that was awesome. That was different. Like,
There were a lot of Suicide Squad Harley Quinns this year,
yes.
and as predicted, a lot of Deadpools.
I got.
There's always a lot
You
of
guys get
Deadpool.
any?
Yeah, but there was more this year
Okay,
because of the movie.
I see.
You guys get any good merch this year?
Well, yes. There was a lot of things I wanted.
But that's always the case. You never have enough money for these conventions.
Yeah.
Guys, when the convention is over, you start budgeting for next year's one right away.
Yes.
I want it all, but I have no money.
I only allowed myself one nice purchase. So I've
Yeah.
always wanted a Poison Ivy statue, and now I have.
My wallet only allowed me 1 or 2 nice purchases.
Yeah, I
My wallet
I
made the decision for me.
dipped into my birthday money. My big purchase for the con was a board game.
The witches.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, for me it was, I got my book signed by Raymond Feist.
Oh, me too.
So that was a highlight for me, and that didn't cost anything. But what I did buy was some Star Wars merchandise. I'm a sucker for that. It's a Star Wars tin of the Millennium Falcon.
Was
And-
that stationery set?
Yeah, stationery set. It is a Star Wars stylus pen
Ooh.
and a hardcover diary or notebook. Key rings and everything, all in cast metal and high quality, and I thought it was awesome. But the tin is awesome because I can keep all my dice and stuff in there, so I thought it was a worthy purchase. And a role-playing book.
Which, the Firefly one.
Yeah, the Firefly one, because I thought it might be interesting for us to try one day.
I got my first pop. You know, those little pop vinyls. Ogrim from the Warcraft movie. I had my heart set on Duratan, but someone beat me to the punch on that one.
Join us. Pops are amazing.
There were so many pops there this year.
Yeah.
I looked at them and I was like, I couldn't pick one, so I'm like just walking away.
I saw a funny tweet about Pops. They said that eventually they're going to run out of characters because they'll do every character ever, and they're going to start doing ordinary people.
Name a series, there's probably a pop for it. My biggest downside was, like, probably mainly just because I was working. You know, it's hard to be passionate about the culture and working at a convention because on the one hand, it gets you into the con for free, which is awesome. And it sort of gives you a bit of cash to spend to buy stuff at the con, which is awesome. But they're like, hey, play a board game with us. Nope. Hey, sit on a panel. No. To have fun. No.
I guess yes, that is a bit of a downside. If you're working at the con, you can't actually partake in all the activities that's on offer.
Which is very depressing.
But they're still there. You can enjoy them from afar. At least talk to people, hear what the latest gossip is about the latest comics, movies, board games coming out. Anything you want to add about cons in general? I mean, have you ever been to a con overseas?
No. Have you?
I have.
How would you rate them sort of differently from ours?
Like scale wise.
Well, no, scale.
You can't compare scale
No,
wise.
I mean that sort of overall feel. How do foreign stores like interact in comparison to ours?
You know, from that aspect, it felt pretty much the same. They also just have store holders selling their merchandise, chatting to you, and then they have their game rooms, then they have their preview rooms. The one I went to was Gamescom in Germany, one of the biggest gaming expos in Europe. So that was pretty much, 2-hour queue just to get into the hall. Once there, I could only actually explore hall number 11 out of 13 halls, and that took the whole day. So I never got to see the whole convention, but they had it spread out, like I say, stalls, cosplayers, whatever. So the scale completely different, you can't compare, but the vibe is pretty much the same. Just crowds, merchandise, and trying to find out what's new. And they've all got their little food stalls, so on that aspect, we're pretty much similar.
No, but no, size.
Food was good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but much more expensive this year, though. Jesus.
Yeah, food was
I-
ridiculously expensive.
I just shut my eyes at that.
Yeah, at first we didn't think it was too bad because on Friday we had tramezzini and chips.
Oh, the trampolines were good.
Yeah, tramezzini and chips, and it was 55 rand. We thought that's okay. We went back today. We want tramezzini and chips. We look at the slip because we were like, that was quite expensive what we just paid. Looked at the slip. The chips are extra, 20 bucks. So that's 75 rand now for tramezzini and chips. We said to them, but when we bought on Friday, you know, it came with chips. No, it was a mistake. It doesn't come with chips. And I'm like, if I knew it was going to be 75 bucks, I wouldn't have ordered the chips. It's no offense. They did a good job considering they're a high-end caterer and they usually do big meals. And they did try and scale it down for convention goers. So they did do a plus side, but they need to understand that convention goers need cheap, quick food.
Yeah, if you're someone who's only sort of getting into the convention sort of circuit or scene, and if you can plan for it ahead of time, get a food budget.
Yeah.
Or
And
pack a
also-
lunch if you're allowed.
And at the end of the weekend, you'll probably be craving vegetables like crazy.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, I never thought, like, it, because, you know, there's a sort of year in between these things, so you forget certain things. You forget that you can actually have too much coffee.
What? No, you can't.
I know, dude, I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here with my tea.
Awesome, but thanks for listening, and we would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe and
Send us money.
spread the word and support us,
Just
because
joking about the last one.
if you support us, we can purchase better equipment, we can grow, we can cover more topics. Tell us what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like us to hear, see more videos,
Really
more
love your feedback.
podcasts. Yeah. So yes, thanks again, and this is Chomp Gear.
Talking conventions.